be explaining how social media interacts with our brains to influence our behavior and our cognition. Social media and social networking sites have become increasingly present in our daily lives, and it's important to understand who's active on these sites to understand the proportion of the population being affected by them. According to a 2018 Pew Research Center survey, the majority of American adults in almost every age group reported using some kind of social media. And according to another Pew Research Center survey, 45% of US teens reported being online almost constantly. So why is it that so many of us are so engaged with social media? Well, these platforms are specifically built to keep us engaged for as long as possible. The Netflix documentary The Social Dilemma interviews various early engineers, developers, and company officials of several social media platforms who revealed that these platforms are built with algorithms that learn our specific individual preferences and emotional triggers to feed us the most engaging feed of information possible. With this design, there's bred a constant battle for our attention. What ad is going to get you to stop scrolling? What news headline is going to make you open that link? Our attention becomes a product to be auctioned off to the most intriguing bidder, and these platforms maximize their success in marketing our attention by interacting with our reward circuitry. By learning what we like to see and interact with online, social media algorithms feed us readily available informational rewards. A study by Sherman et al. Showed that both receiving and giving likes on social media activated regions of our brain involved in reward processing. Receiving likes makes us feel supported, validated, loved. By receiving likes, we are encouraged to continue using these platforms to continue receiving these rewarding feelings. And although it's good to feel supported and validated by our peers online, the quest for accruing more and more likes can easily facilitate someone's descent into excessive and problematic use. And problematic use of these platforms can have adverse effects on our cognition and on our behavior. So how does social media actually influence our behavior? Well, have you ever found yourself checking your phone over and over throughout the day for no reason, hoping to see a notification on the screen when you're bored or looking for a distraction? But these behaviors have been termed habitual checking behaviors, and are thought to be a result of the behavioral reinforcement that we get from those readily available informational rewards that social media notifications provide. So the next time that we do look at our phone and there actually is a notification on that screen, that notification is essentially your reward for consistently checking back in with your mobile device. And these habitual checking behaviors can even cause us to perceive stimuli that's not actually present in the form of phantom ringtones or phantom vibrations, which I have personally experienced on numerous occasions. Now, how does social media influence our cognition? Studies have shown varied results because it's incredibly hard to control for every confounding variable that can influence cognition. But generally, people who engage in frequent and excessive media multitasking, which is a term for simultaneously engaging with multiple media streams at once, perform worse than people who don't engage in this behavior on various cognitive assessments. And you might think that engaging with multiple media streams all the time would make you better at task switching skills, but in fact, those heavy media multitaskers were found to perform worse on task switching assessments than people who did not engage in heavy media multitasking. And this poor performance by the heavy media multitaskers is thought to be a result of their increased distractibility to irreverent stimuli. So these constantly changing social media feeds that we are always looking at is making it harder and harder for some of us to filter out stimuli of low importance. And this is all a result of that design, by which each piece of information is vying for our attention to try to snag it from the last piece of information that previously held it. So what can we do to actually avoid these negative consequences? Well, firstly, do not willingly offer up your attention as a product. Turn off your notifications. By doing this, you're only going to interact with social media when you actually choose to open up that app and do so, not when your notifications deem a time to re-engage you. Set your phone out of sight when you're working on important tasks. By setting it out of sight, then you won't be as likely to be distracted by it. Set strict time limits for your daily social media use, and actually be strict about them. By doing this, you might break the habit of always getting on social media whenever you have downtime throughout the day. Avoid using social media as soon as you wake up in the morning or right before bed. Instead, use this time to mentally prepare yourself for the day or to unwind at the end of it. Delete unnecessary social media. To put it simply, if it doesn't bring any kind of positivity to your life, if the only kind of interaction you have with a particular platform is negative, then that platform is not for you. And lastly, the most important thing to keep in mind when talking about social media is that oftentimes social media is partially fictional and it doesn't reflect reality. So don't compare yourself to this falsely perfect reality because reality is not perfect. And the goal of my presentation has not been to encourage abstinence from social media because I recognize it as an integral part of our lives that does have benefits. However, moderation is key when it comes to maximizing those benefits while also minimizing the possibilities of the negative consequences that can come from excessive use of these platforms. Thank you.